This is the very strange story of 20-year-old Katie Pladle. She was brutally murdered by her estranged biological father, 43-year-old Stephen Pladle, alongside her adopted father, 56-year-old Anthony Fusco. Hello, and thank you for watching The Urban Crime. Please like and subscribe for more true crime content.
Story this noon hour, a case of incest, murder, and suicide leaves 2 people dead here in Connecticut and 3 different states now investigating. News 8's Ken Pierce live in News 8 Control this midday with the very latest from police in New.
This story takes place in Knightdale, North Carolina, home of the Knightdale Environmental Education Park. Katie Pladle, real name Denise, was born into a troubled home. Her dad Stephen would normally pinch her, beat her, and one day would even attempt to drown her. Eventually, Katie's mom decided to put her up for adoption to get her away from the trauma. Anthony and Kelly Fusco adopted her and renamed her Katie for safety reasons. Katie attended Dover High School and was an aspiring artist known for drawing comic strips. She planned to attend college and pursue a career in digital advertising. Her adoptive parents never spoke about her real parents until one day, Katie would find out about her biological parents. At age 18, Katie reached out to her biological father, Stephen Pladle, through Facebook and decided to meet up with him and her mom. The family decided to reunite, so Katie made the decision to move back in with her biological parents and their 2 children. Her adoptive parents were furious about this decision, but they eventually decided to support her. Katie moved into the home, but things weren't going so good for her biological parents. They were separated and didn't even sleep in the same room together. Over the next few months, Stephen and Katie became incredibly close, a little too close. Her mom would begin to question Stephen and Katie's relationship together and got the cold shoulder every time. In May 2017, her mom was cleaning up when she came across one of their children's journals. Inside, she would read how Stephen was involved in sexual activity with Katie and that Katie was pregnant. She also would go on to read how Stephen even told the 2 children that Katie was their stepmother. Her mom called Stephen, who confirmed the story was all true, including Katie being pregnant. She would then notify police, who could only take a report and begin an investigation. For the moment, Stephen and Katie went on to get married in July of 2017. They lied on their marriage documents about not being related, and Stephen's mom and Katie's adoptive parents would even attend the wedding. The 2 were extremely happy and eventually gave birth to a baby boy. In January 2018, Katie and Stephen were arrested on multiple charges, including incest. The judge ordered that Stephen and Katie do not contact each other, and the custody of their child was granted to Stephen's mother. Following their release on bond, Katie moved back with her adoptive parents and informed Stephen over the phone that she did not want to continue their relationship. But this would not make Stephen happy. He became very obsessive and would try anything to get Katie back to him. On April 11, 2018, Stephen would do the unthinkable. He was watching his 9-month-old baby in his North Carolina home when he decided to suffocate and murder the child. Katie and her adoptive father, Anthony, would normally travel miles away to see his mom in Waterbury, Connecticut. Stephen knew this was a normal routine for them. That same day, he traveled to Dover to follow the 2. Stephen would track their vehicle down, block them in at a stop sign, and fire multiple rounds into the car with an assault-style rifle. He would then flee the scene and call his mother to tell her what he had just done. Police responded to the scene and found 20-year-old Katie and 56-year-old Anthony, both deceased in their vehicle.
Police now say that 20-year-old Katie Pladle and 56-year-old Anthony Fusco were killed in his pickup truck in New Milford yesterday by multiple gunshots from an assault rifle. Police say pulling that trigger was Stephen Pladle, who was Katie's father, husband, and father of her baby. The story behind the gunfire near the New York-Connecticut border was all summed up in a heartbreaking 911 call in North Carolina.
He killed his baby.
That's the mother of Stephen Pladle. She technically had custody of 7-month-old Bennett Pladle, but her son Stephen had him Wednesday, and that's when he got a phone call.
His wife broke up with him over the phone yesterday.
By wife, she means 20-year-old Katie Pladle, who was also Stephen's daughter. She was adopted at birth by the Fusco family in Wingdale, New York. At 18, she wanted to find her birth parents. She did, even moving in with them and eventually sleeping with and marrying her biological father. Her mother moved out and called police.
You may recall that those individuals were the subject of an arrest here in Knightdale back in January 2018.
Courts there ordered her to move back in with her adoptive parents in New York. Police say she was running errands with her adoptive father, Anthony Fusco, yesterday. Stephen Pladle drove hundreds of miles after killing the baby and was following them.
He killed his wife. He killed her father. And I can't even believe this is happening.
Okay. And did this happen in Knightdale?
No. His wife and father are in New York.
Police say they were at a stop sign in nearby New Milford when Pladle opened fire with an assault rifle.
The father that raised her, the adoptive father, she had came up here staying with him in Wingdale, and next thing you know, there's a shooting.
Pladle called his mother to confess everything, then he drove back to Wingdale, New York.
Responding officers on scene were able to determine that the suspect in this case had died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Stephen would then drive miles away back to Dover, New York, where he took his own life. With Stephen taking his own life, police were forced to close the investigation and no charges were pursued. Both Katie, her adoptive father Anthony, and her 9-month-old baby are buried at St. Charles Cemetery in Dover Plains, New York. This was a senseless act of jealousy, hatred, and pure evilness. And may Katie, Anthony, and baby Bennett's name live on forever. Thank you for watching The Urban Crime. Please like and subscribe for more true crime content.